Now, after years of paying out billions of pounds over claims, Britain's banks today found out that the payment protection insurance scandal will finally be behind them. The Financial Conduct Authority revealed that the 29th of August 2019 will be the final deadline for complaints. Around 45 million PPI policies were sold over 20 years. They were designed to cover repayments if the policyholder became ill or unemployed, but millions were sold to people who had no need for them or couldn't claim in any event. Lloyds has already paid out £17 billion to settle claims. Barclays has paid out around half that amount, while RBS has paid nearly £5 billion and HSBC around £4 billion. Well, Butler is Director of Supervision at the Financial Conduct Authority and joins me now. So, Emma, why have you made this decision? Megan, why have you made this decision?
We've made this decision because, as you pointed out in your introduction there, PPI has been around an awfully long time, and there's an awful lot of noise around it as well. We have research that tells us very clearly that people are no longer listening to the messages on PPI. We need to find a way to cut through all of that noise and get people to make a decision on whether or not they want to make a claim about PPI.
Now, this is clearly very good news for the banks. I mean, some people would say you've been nobbled by the banks.
This is nothing to do with the banks. This is the most effective way of getting consumers to understand the issue and get to make a complaint if that's what they wish to do, and get them to do that fast. People are owed money, and we want them to get that money as quickly as possible.
Isn't there a danger, though, that by imposing this deadline, everyone's now going to be deluged with scam calls for the next couple of years from these ambulance-chasing claims management firms?
We do anticipate a tick-up in that noise that I've just referred to there. We spend every day, I suppose every single one of us gets text messages, TV ads, newspaper ads, whatever it might be, that connects to this. That's why we're launching a campaign in August ourselves to try and cut through that noise and be a strong, authoritative, independent voice to help people make this decision.
That is, I mean, this is a real issue. I mean, Which, for example, has today said they think the claims process is just too complicated. I mean, why is it, do you think, that so many people do resort to using these claims management firms?
I think it's quite fair to say that banks and other providers of PPI have really not done what they need to in the past on complaints handling. That's been a real focus for us over the last few months and years, in fact. And over the next 6 months or so, as we get ourselves ready to launch our campaign, we're going to be holding banks to the highest possible standards for complaints handling, and that's critical for the success of this campaign.
Do you have any idea of how many people were missold PPI who haven't yet claimed?
We don't really. We know the numbers, as you were saying. We think there are up to maybe 60 million policies out there. Only about 8 million complaints so far have been upheld. So there is potentially quite a large untapped market of people who are just not hearing the messages.
Potentially, that's terrifying for the banks then. I mean, that means that potentially there could be billions of pounds more claims in the pipeline.
That's a matter for the banks.
But I mean, that's... did you say 8 million out of 60 million policies have only been claimed for so far? I mean, that's... So basically...
Successfully claimed for.
So it's at the tip of the iceberg, really?
We don't know if it's the tip of the iceberg, quite honestly, and we don't know what level of complaints will come through as a result of this, though we do expect more. And that is the purpose of the campaign in some ways.
Now, while we've got you here, last summer after the Brexit vote, we saw a series of suspensions in these closed-end property funds as people stampeded to try and get their money back. You've just sought views on that. Any idea when you're going to be reporting back on that?
No, we're still just in the considering our views on that. We'll let you know as soon as we've considered that further.